I installed this cheap Chinese diesel heater 5 years ago. I'm going to let you know what went right, what went wrong, and how it survived 5 cold Canadian winters and kept me toasty and warm. Here's the truth. Okay, so I just want to give you guys an idea of the conditions we're operating in here. It's the beginning of December and we've already had quite a bit of snow, but it's quite a low snow year so far, so it's bound to get very heavy this year. I'm just going to flip around the camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about and know what kind of conditions we're operating in for the heater. So just a bit of background, which I think is important because every single setup is going to be a little bit different. So this is a 100 square foot shop. It was very minimally insulated for a number of years while I had the heater. I just recently put 2-inch foam in the walls and foam in the floor and the ceiling. And obviously that made a massive difference. So I'm going to kind of let you know how the heater went with minimal insulation and then with better insulation. Basically, insulating the shop made a massive difference, obviously. So I would highly recommend, if you're going to go to the effort of putting in one of these, do whatever you can to insulate, stop drafts, get heavy curtains for the windows if you've got single pane windows. Just do whatever you can to get the building as warm as possible and as airtight as possible. And then this thing will have the opportunity to perform as well as it can. So here's how I have it mounted externally. I did have the fuel tank inside and the pump inside. That's the fuel tank and there's the pump. But I found that filling the fuel tank inside could be quite messy. I did spill diesel on the floor quite a few times. And also that, I don't know if you can hear that ticking, that fuel pump can be quite noisy. So it's best just to have them outside if you can. You might be wondering what that blue thing is there. That's actually just a bit of roof flashing that I've used to just kind of keep water off the intake hose. And there's the exhaust pipe. I've used a piece of steel to protect the building from the heat. Even though, it's only hot for a few inches away from the exhaust. So it just keeps the heat away from the building. And I have it exhausting out towards the side of the building here, guys, so that I don't get a bunch of diesel coming into the building through any cracks in my siding here. So that's basically the setup there. Hopefully that helps some of you guys. And the flashing also helps to keep the snow and rain off the top of the fuel tank there, so that I don't have to continuously clean it every time I fill it up, and keeps the pump clean as well. So in terms of the actual installation, I've got mine installed here in this wall. I've made it a little bit fancier with the Japanese burnt wood surround. But basically, I've just got it mounted into the wall. I've got a small 90 degree just pushing air into the room. I did originally have a long pipe. It was about 10 feet long, going across the room and underneath my desk and my workbench area. But I found that you do lose quite a bit of power, heating power, when you have a run that long. So I found it's actually better to have a short run. Just shoot air into the room, make it as efficient as possible, and just get the heat of the room up. And heat all the surfaces and all the mass in the room as much as possible. I've got my panel installed right here. So this is just my control panel. That works flawlessly. Right now I have it set to 1. There's 6 levels. I found 1 when it's about -5 degrees Celsius here. I find 1 keeps it, it's 14 degrees in here right now. 1 keeps it pretty toasty. If I'm popping in and out and I don't want to use a bunch of diesel, I just leave it set quite low. And then if I'm in here for a few hours, I'll bump it up to 3 or 4. So that's kind of the way I run it. So basically, the way I have it running right now, it's a little temporary, but I have a 300 amp hour lithium battery that I just got. I'm doing a full solar build series on this channel. So I've got a 300 amp hour heated lithium battery, and I've got a bunch of solar panels, solar charge controller, inverter charger. So I'm doing a full off-grid. This shop's going to be fully off-grid, guys, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. I've done a bunch of off-grid solar builds, and I'm going to show you everything I've learned over the last 5 years, roughly. And the way I charge this battery is I just have a little 20 amp battery charger off Amazon, and this thing's awesome. It's not on right now because it's a bit noisy when it's charging the battery, and I don't want the fan noise in the video, but I just set it to about 10 amps because this heater draws about 3 to 5 amps when it's on. So I set it to 10 amps, charges the battery a little bit, runs the heater if it needs to run. It keeps the battery heated itself, and yeah, it's a pretty good setup. Now, this is a big battery. You could do this with a 50 amp hour lithium battery, guys. You don't need a 300 amp hour lithium battery if this is all you're running. And previously, I did run this system off a 120 volt to 12 volt DC converter. I would not recommend that, guys, and I'll tell you why. If the power goes out, you can fry the heater. The heater needs to have a cool down cycle, and if you don't let it cool down, if you just cut the power out, if you have a power outage and it's fully hot in there in the internals and there's no cool down period, you can fry the electronics inside. Fairly well known about these heaters, but yeah, just FYI, if you don't know that, just run it off a battery and then run that battery, just charge it off a battery charger, and make sure you get one that's got 10 to 20 amps of input. They're at $50 off Amazon right now. So all in all, to summarize, I would highly recommend these Chinese diesel heaters. I think they're amazing for low power. They don't draw much power. Heating, they put out a lot of heat. For the size and for the cost. There's nothing like it. It puts out way more heat than any electric space heater, multiple times more heat than an electric space heater, and it only uses 3 amps at 12 volts. So what is that, like 40 watts? It's nothing, guys. I think in combination, if you've got a cabin or a workshop, it's good to have a combination of heating strategies. So for example, I use a small oil-filled space heater as well to keep the temperature above freezing at night. And then during the day, I use the diesel heater because it just has that heat to heat up the whole space to a comfortable level, whereas a space heater, for this 100 square feet, a space heater does not have the right amount of heat for that. So I think a multiple heating strategy is good. I'm just about to pick up a cubic mini wood stove. It's about a foot by foot wood stove, meant for tiny homes, cabins, boats, etc., RVs. So I'm going to put one of those in here as well, do a full installation video, a full review of that. So then I'll have 3 different heating strategies. I think the diesel heater will be my sort of quick and easy one, and then the wood stove will be when I'm in here the whole day, just cranking out heat, making it really toasty in here, guys. So I can do painting in here, I can dry paint, I can do a lot of different projects in here that require a high temperature in the room. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope I've given you some good advice. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and feel free to subscribe. I've got a full solar build coming for this workshop. I'm going to show you how to go from beginning to end, from the design stage to the full implementation, mounting panels outside on a wooden frame and angling them the right direction, picking the right components. We're going to go through that. Then we're going to do the wood stove install as well. I'll probably do that next, just because it's getting cold here and I'd like to see how it performs. And then I've got a bunch of communication stuff coming up as well, off-grid communication. So if you've got a rural property or a cabin, how do you communicate when there's no cell service or when the power's out? I've got multiple options here, guys. I'm going to show you everything I know about communications, off-grid communications. I've been doing this for 5 years again, fully immersed in it, so I can give you guys a lot of advice, save you guys a lot of time and a lot of struggle. And tons more videos coming out, tour reviews. We're going to go winter camping in a hot tent. Tons of new stuff, guys. So subscribe, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it.